So just to recollect, the last class we have discussed with ETL transformations. So one thing we discussed like data cleansing, and the next thing data scrubbing, and next thing like data matching, and next data aggregation. So these things we discussed in the last class as the first class. Okay. And next thing today we are going to start with data warehousing concepts. The data warehousing concepts. Now, so two things I want to make you to understand today. That is what is master data, and the next thing is what is transaction data. If you have anything, please ping me. I mean, give me a chat like this, okay? Because of course, if you speak something, I'm not able to hear you. Okay. So, okay. So now I hope you should understand and everything should be very clear. Fine. No more breaks. Okay. So fine. What is the master data and what is transaction? See here, I want to just tell you one thing. For example, I want to take one example. And let's go to. See, I have a this like organization, one of the organization. Assume that like an institution. Here we have an institution. So here, the reception, the front office reception. Okay, she was there, and she was very new. She don't know anything. Okay, she don't know anything. What happening here? What we are going to do here? These all things she don't know. So now, students are coming, and I asking for some courses like data stage, informatica, Hadoop, and some courses like things. But she don't know anything. So she is not able to give particular answer to them. So I am losing the data. I am losing the data. So now what I thought, it's not like this. I'll give one I'll write a courses what all details she should say to the students. Those all things I'm going to write it here. Data stage, informatica, and MSBI, and administratio, and Talend. So like this I have given these courses details. I told her these are the details, these are the subject that we are dealing, and I told her what are the faculties names and what are experience they have and what how many days it takes, these all things. So now these details are having with that lady. So now tomorrow if anyone comes, so now if anyone comes, she can give reply or not? Yes, she can give the reply. For data says there is one person who came for the remote. I mean sorry for the information. And as well again data stage there is person came for info. Again there is a new student who came for informatica and who came for MSBA and who came for data stage again. And informatica again. And okay. So like this we have some details. Okay. So see now when I give this paper, she can give reply to this paper or not. And this is useful now to me. These are useful data to me now. Correct or not? So whereas this data, where this data is coming from? From here, the paper which I given. I written on this paper and I given that you should say these all details to them, students. So this paper she is taking as a reference and understanding and giving information to these particular students. So now this data is valid for me, correct or not? So now here before giving this data, she cannot give a reply to these people, correct these people. So when I give this paper first, then only she can get this data, correct or not? So the master data is nothing but the data we run the business. See, normally here in the institution we teach all these subjects. We teach all these subjects. So these all are our products. For example, business technology if you want to talk, these all are our products. And if you go for these are the people who are going to this for these products. These are the people who are coming and learning these products. So now the data which talks about the business product is called master data. The data which will have the information of the persons who are coming and using those products, that is called transaction data. So this is common in every business. Okay. See, normally we call this master data and the parent data in the RDBMS. We say this as master or parent data, and this as a child data in RDBMS. This technology is in RDBMS database. But in data warehouse, this database we call it as dimension data. Dimension. I'll write it very clearly later part. So this is dimension. And this data we call it as fact data. So these two data are very important in the RDBMS, and these two data are very important in the dimension data. So how do we convert this master data into a dimension, and how do we convert this transaction data into a fact? These are all things we need to see. Okay, that is what we are going to discuss in the 3 days class of 3 days means 3 hours of class in the data warehousing concepts. Okay, data warehousing concepts. So this is like master data, and this is like parent data that I'm saying, and this is the dimension data. So now, what is the relation between these two tables? Means parent and child as well dimension and the fact. See, if I have course of data stage, one time is enough, right? One time if I say data stage is enough. But how many students can come for data stage? Number of students, right? Data stage, 3. So this relationship is 1 to many. This relationship is 1 to many. And okay, 1 to many. And uh, first, which data is mandatory? First, which data is mandatory? See, for this reception, the front office reception, if I don't give this paper, she did not get this data, means she cannot capture this. But when I give this first, then she can give answers to this data. So the master data, the dimension data is very fast. First, what is the order of loading a dimension table and a fact table? In data warehouse, we'll have only two tables, that is dimension table and a fact table. But how many dimension tables can be any number? Fact also can be any number. Okay. So number of dimensions and number of facts. So first we should know what is the order of loading dimension table and a fact table. So dimension table means we should load dimension table. Next, with the reference to, we should load the fact data. This is what dimension and fact. So to make it too clear about dimension table, I'll just give one say description of dimension table. What is the dimension table? The table which consists of text values which consists of text values and talks about business. Talks about the business. So this is the dimension. She talks about the business means what? See, here whatever we are discussing, these are like products for our business. So this is the like having the information. That information we say the dimension. and with these products who are purchasing, those people are called the fact table. The data will store in the fact table. So this is dimension table. And next thing, what is a fact? Fact I will tell you again, but as of now, just simply you just understand the table which consists of numeric values, or consists of numeric values and useful for those numeric values. Those numeric values should be useful for the business calculations. Business calculations. So that is your factor. So here I have data stage course ID. We will have course ID. As of just example, I given the information like this, but we will have course ID, course P, and which student joined for which course. That information we have. Okay, and how many students are there for data stage? How many students are there for informatica? These all things, if you know, that is like your measurement of your business. Correct or not? Measurement of your business. So right away you should understand mostly about the dimension table. Fact table again we will discuss, and dimension also we will discuss again. But mostly now you should understand about dimension table. So this is just to understand what is master data, what is transaction data, and what is the dimension table, what is the fact table. So is it clear to know what we discussed? If it is clear, then we will go for the next step. So now we can see, first of all I will show you how to load the dimension tables and how to load the fact table next. Okay. So here we say SCD, we have SCDs. What is SCD first of all? Slowly changing dimension. Slowly changing dimension. This is like SCD column. SCD. So SCD means slowly changing dimension. So what are these first of all SCDs? What SCDs we have? So first of all, how to find an SCD? I'll tell you. Employee, employee name, employee surname, and employees surname, employee city. So now these are the columns that I have. Okay. So tell me, in any organization, do you think employee ID will change for every year? Employee ID will change for every year? Or yeah, it will not change. Correct? So it will not change for 5 years also. Will not change for 6 years also. Means it is constant. Once if the employee ID comes in that organization, it will not change for ever. This is not an SCD column. It is not an SCD column. Means SCD means slowly changing. Today it may not change, but tomorrow it may change. So in that cases we call those columns as SCD columns. Do you think employee name? No, will not change. Employee surname, employee surname will change or no? For example, I have an employee like 1002 and her name is like his name is Rani, and her surname is Y, and her status is single. Her status is single now. Okay. Now tomorrow, if she get married, then what will happen? This changes or not? Yeah. So sometimes means like it will happen because according to the Indian rule, yes, it will change. So this is one of the SCD column. This is one of the SCD column. As well, employee city also will change because the organization will have in the different areas. So today they are working in Mumbai, tomorrow they work in Hyderabad. Today they are working in Hyderabad, tomorrow they are working in Bangalore. Some different location they can work. So the city is a possible change in SCD. And status. So today she is single, tomorrow she get married and married to something and something to something will change. The status also will change. So this is a possible change. So these are the columns that we can say these are like SCD columns. These are like SCD columns. Okay, these are like SCD columns. Okay, so now what you need to do is you need to find the SCD columns, but according to the requirement, according to the requirement, our SCD columns will change. See now, for example, I have these many columns, okay, these many columns, but I want to know which employee is working effectively in which city. Which employee is working effectively in which city. I have my business in Hyderabad, Bangalore, Chennai. I have my business in these three areas. In these three areas. Okay. So now I want to move the employees throughout these three cities, these three cities, and where he is working effectively, where he is working effectively, there I want to make them permanent, make him permanent. Effectively, there I want to make him permanent. Okay. For example, I have one customer. I'll ask him to work in Hyderabad for 1 year, Bangalore 1 year, and Chennai 1 year. After 1 year, I'll see the performance of these three people of the same person in the three cities. I'll see the performance in the three cities. Where he is working good, where he is doing good, there I will make him permanent. There I will make him permanent. So now tell me, for this, what possible change in column is important? For this, what possible change in column? Because Hyderabad will change after 1 year to Bangalore. So Bangalore will change after 1 year to Chennai. So here, these changes are there. So I am going to maintain complete history, capital history. So tell me which type of, which SCD column is very important for you according to this requirement. The requirement what I told, is it clear? What I told is, I have three cities. I want to run each employee, one employee first of all. Three cities I will make him to work for 1 year, and I will see the performance of these three cities of the same employee. The performance where he is good, there I will make him permanent. So see what I am saying is, I have my business in three areas: Hyderabad, Bangalore, and Chennai. I have, for example, three employees. For example, I am taking first employee. I'm asking him to work in this Hyderabad for 1 year. After 1 year, I'll move him to Bangalore. I'll ask him to work there in 1 year, for 1 year. And after Chennai, after Bangalore 1 year, I'll ask him to go for Chennai and I'll work for 1 year. Like this, I'll do for every employee. After running of these three cities, after every 1 year, I'll get a rating column. Correct or not? I'll have a rating column. So in which city is working good, there I want to make him permanent. Okay, there I want to make him permanent. So for this requirement, I am getting this data. For example, this table I am getting. Rating column is not there now. Just I am saying like rating will be given every 1 year. That's it. This rating column is not there as of now. I'm talking about these columns: employee ID, employee name, employee surname, employee city, and employee status. This is an employee table. In this table, I want to know which employee is working. Okay, these columns you take it, and according to the why EAD and EA. What I'm saying clearly, I want to work. I have my business in three areas: Hyderabad, Bangalore, Chennai. Now I want to move my three employees to these three cities for 1 year. So this city column is going to change every year, and I want to capture the rating on Hyderabad, in the Bangalore, in the Chennai. So among these columns, if I have these columns, which possible changing column is required? First of all, see what are the possible changing columns are there. I told you, no, employee ID, employee name, employee surname, employee city, status. So city column, right? So city column is required. So based on city column and employee ID, one possible changing column and one unique column should be there. So employee ID and employee ID. So sorry, not employee name. So based on these two columns, we need to find out in which city is working effectively. Effectively means very like good, very good is working where if I want to see, I want these two cities. Okay. So now you understood, right, how to find out SCD column. Just why I told you these all things is to understand how to identify what are the SCD columns, how to find the SCD columns. This part why I am doing, I am taking the RDBMS data and loading into the data warehouse. Loading into the data warehouse. So when you are loading, how many tables I have? Two tables I have. One is dimension, one is pack. And first I am discussing with how to load a dimension table. How to load a dimension table. So in the dimension, I have SCD dimensions. SCD three types. Type 1, type 2, type 3. Type 1 means which will maintain only current data. Type 2 means which will maintain historical data. Type 3 means which maintains current plus partial history. Okay. So type 1, type 2, type 3. I have three types. Type 1, current data. Type 2, current plus historical data. Type 3, current plus partial history. So, which is the very important type in to maintain current historical, current plus historical, and why do data values? We load the data into data values. So, yesterday when we discussed for ETL transformations also, I take an example as a source data, that is nothing but dimension data, and after while loading into data values, how do we load? I told you, and what we will do mainly for analysis purpose. For analysis, we require current plus historical. So tell me which type is very important to maintain current plus historical data. Which type is very important to maintain current plus historical data? Okay. So what I'm saying is, see, we are going to take the data from RDBMS. I told you like parent data. So what I'm saying, like in the RDBMS we have primary parent data, parent data, and that data in RDBMS we have parent, and in the data warehouse we make it into a dimension table. So when we want to load it into a dimension table, so the dimension table we can make it maintain in the three types. The dimension table can maintain three types: type 1, type 2, type 3. These are the three types. If anyone asks what is the type 1 means, it maintains only current data. Type 2 means which maintains current plus historical data. Type 3 means which maintains current plus past list. I'll tell you what all this means. Okay. But majorly we are very bother of type 2 because our data warehouse project, why do we maintain a data warehouse? To do analysis and take the decisions. For analysis we required current plus historical, current plus complete historical data. So this current plus historical and current plus historical data. So this we can maintain in type 2. This we can maintain in type 2. Okay. So that's why we are very bother of type 2. That is SCD type 2. So which maintains current plus historical. To maintain type 2, we have some attributes. Normally in the academic, means like in the classes, I will say like 6 rules. We say 6 rules to maintain type 2, the dimension with the type 2. Today we will see those rules and tomorrow we will implement them on the particular table so that we can understand how the dimension table will be loaded. Okay. So today the first rule says, see, as a learners we are saying these are 6 rules. The first rule says the source primary key. The source primary key should not be a primary key here. The source primary key should not be a primary key here. And the second rule, there should be a new column as there should be a new column as surrogate key. Surrogate key. What is the surrogate key? I will tell you. And the third one, there should be a new column as there should be a new column as start date. And the fourth rule, there should be a new column as end date. And the fifth rule, there should be a new column as current flag. And the sixth rule, there should be a new column as version column. So these are the 6 rules. So normally when you are learning, we say these are 6 rules, okay? But normally in interviews they'll ask you what all the attributes should be maintained to maintain a type 2. What all the attributes required to maintain a type 2. This is the one they will ask you the question. They will not ask you how many 6 rules, how many rules are there, what are they, they'll say what all the attributes should be maintained. You can say surrogate key, start date, end date, current flag, version. So RDBMS data is the source. And here means that is nothing but the target. What is the target? Data warehouse. Yeah. So DWH, data warehouse is the target. Okay. So when you are taking, do you know what is primary key? I am saying primary key. Do you know what is primary key? So you know primary key. So I'll tell you the concept of primary key and what is primary key means. Do you think in any organization there can be any employee, there can be any employee without an employee ID? Without an employee ID? Without an employee ID can employee be? No. And the same employee ID can be given for two employees. Same employee ID can be given for two employees. No, right? Means it should satisfy the null value as well distinct value. Distinct in the sense no duplicate. No duplicate. Correct or not? These three things need to be satisfied on the employee. Then what we are going to define, we are going to say this as a primary key. Means when you give a primary key condition, when you say this as a primary key, it will not allow the repeated value, it will not allow the duplicate value, and it will not allow the null value also. If you say simply a space value and give a null, it will not allow. It will throw error saying that you cannot enter null into this column, into this column. And if you say, for example, I have already 1001 employee, and again for another employee I want to give 1001, and if I say enter, it will throw error saying that no, we have already 1001 employee, you cannot give 1001 employee. So this is what the primary key. When you define a primary key on a particular key column, it will not allow the duplicate value, it will not allow the null value in that particular column.